What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you two different approaches to help you conquer difficult fishing, whether that be turnover, fall transition, post frontal, you name it. I'm going to give you two different ways to make sure that you guys catch as many fish as possible regardless of the difficult conditions. For most people, they do not get to choose when they get to go fishing. So when they go, they have to fish regardless of the conditions. And if you fish for a while, you know that basically anytime that you want to go fishing, it'll be beautiful the entire week. A little bit of wind, cloudy skies, perfect conditions. But then when you want to go to the lake, it is either raining, massive cold front, lake is busy with boat traffic, and it just makes the conditions absolutely not ideal. So these two approaches can help you conquer those things. When fishing gets really tough, you can go two different ways, or I like to go two different ways. The first way to go is ultra finesse. So grab your spinning rod and slow down. I'm telling you guys, this is probably the best way to combat tough conditions, especially on today. You guys can see there's not a cloud in the sky. Post frontal fishing's brutal out here. So I picked up a spinning rod with a weightless Senko and just rigged it wacky style and went fishing shallow, just flipping it around at any fish I saw on forward facing. I'm fishing in like literally 3 to 10 feet of water, flipping this around anywhere you see brush, maybe docks. You can flip it around docks and just slow down. I'm talking take a couple minutes per cast and just soak this bait in an area that you think fish are. So that's one of the approaches there is, again, slow down, grab your spinning rod. You can fish a number of different finesse baits. Like I said, this is just a weightless Senko. That's a pretty good option. You can step it up and go to like a shaky head. That's another one of my favorites if I'm fishing a little bit deeper, or rock. It just keeps it out of the rock a little bit better. This is a 3/16 ounce head, and anywhere from I would say a 5 to 7 inch shaky head worm is fantastic and just a fish catcher. But again, it allows you to slow down, present a finesse style presentation, and go from there. Another option is to drop shot. So these are just some different drop shot baits here. Just a smaller, different look, keeps your bait up off the bottom, and you can fish the drop shot just about anywhere. You can rig it up weedless or open hook style, so you can flip it shallow, or you can flip it directly in the brush. Like I said, that's another great finesse option there. And then finally, the last finesse option I would recommend. I don't personally fish it often because I hate fishing it. It's just not my style. I'd rather throw a shaky head or a drop shot than this right here. But this is a Ned rig, or this is a Ned bait itself. But a Ned rig is ultimately just a very, very small shaky head for the most part. It's a little bit different. It catches a ton of fish, but again, the reason I don't like throwing it is because often it catches smaller fish. Can it catch big fish? Yes, definitely. I just don't have a ton of confidence in the Ned rig catching bigger class fish. So that's the last finesse option I would recommend. So again, we have Senko. Either you can rig it up just like you would Texas rigged or weightless, shaky head, drop shot, or Ned rig. Those would be my 4 choices for going the finesse route. And again, slow down, pick areas apart where you think that there's a high probability of fish, and they're just not going to be eating. They're going to be shut down, so you're going to have to finesse them and catch them that way. The second approach, which is my personal favorite, is to go full-blown reaction. And this is fun because you can still power fish and still catch fish most of the time when the bite is difficult. These baits include jerk bait, crank bait. You could also throw maybe a spinner bait, burning it and pausing it. Anything where you're getting a reaction strike. And again, that's why I like this style so much more, is because you can still cover a lot of water. You're burning your baits or twitching the baits depending on what you're fishing, and getting those fish to lash out and react even though they don't want to feed. as you guys can see here, here's a great option. I have a crankbait tied on. Again, today is brutal conditions. You guys can see bluebird skies, not a lot of wind. It's moderately, or for the most part, pretty calm. So I picked up exactly like I said, go to the two extremes where I'm gonna throw crankbait on rock and on stumps and on shallow points and around docks. And then if I see a lot of fish on my sonar or forward facing, I'm gonna go back through those areas and slow down and finesse them. And today for me, the finesse baits have outperformed the reaction baits. So I believe, like I said earlier, that #1 finesse baits that I told you about, option #1, is the best way, hands down, to catch fish when it's difficult and the conditions are just not ideal. However, this is a fun way that, again, you can trigger a reaction strike even when they're not eating. And that's exactly how you finesse them right there. Throwing just like a weightless Senko around shallow brush. But that's one way to get them to bite. Probably 2 3/4. Not the biggest fish in the world, but like I said, it's a super tough day out here. And sometimes you just need to hit the two extremes, go either reaction and try to get a reaction strike with like a crankbait or a jerkbait, or slow up and slow way down and try to get a finesse bite with some sort of worm, a drop shot, shaky head, Senko, flipping around shallow brush. That's what you need to do to catch them on tough days. Let's see if we can't get one on a reaction bait now. Well, there goes a 4-pounder right at the boat. On the weightless worm again. Hopefully that little bit of information helps. Again, when fishing is absolutely brutal like it is today, post frontal, fish are shut down, not really wanting to feed, or like I said, fall turnover, or fall transition, springtime, anytime the fish are there one day, gone the next, eating this bait 1 hour, shut down the next hour, and the conditions are just really changing. So you have to adapt quickly, you have to be versatile, you have to have a lot of rods on the deck to be successful ultimately. But hopefully those 2 tips right there, either go finesse or go reaction style, will help you guys put more fish in the boat when the fishing is just awful. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment down below on your favorite bait to use when the fishing gets very tough, or like I said, post frontal, fall turnover, etc. Post your favorite bait down below. I'm kind of curious to hear how you guys attack those difficult situations on the water. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.